Our first speaker tonight is our timer, Stephanie Johnwell. And I do not actually have her introduction because of my deficit disorder. Sorry. But here it goes. Stephanie, besides timing many Toastmaster events, is giving speech number 4 out of her CC, which means if she hustled, you could actually qualify to speak at our speech contest next month. We'll tell you more about that later. Things are happening, aren't they? They are. Stephanie's speech title is Death. What does this word conjure up for you? Again, death. What does this conjure up for you? Thank you, Gabe, for being so excited and not indifferent. Compassion. Here's how I'm going to introduce Stephanie. Compassion loves life and all that it offers. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Johnwell.
Death. When I say that word, what does it mean to you? Brian, death.
Blackness, end of life.
How about you, Dale?
You're not alive.
You're not alive. Blackness, end of life. Anyone else? Miss Beverly?
Peace.
Peace. Gabe?
Scariness.
Scariness. Our guest?
Blood.
Blood. Tamara?
Transition.
Transition. I like that word. How about you, Terry?
Death to me means lifeless.
Lifeless. I can imagine something laying around lifeless. How about you, David?
Lightness.
Lightness, as an airy. Elizabeth?
I see white lights. I see going to heaven. I see death as the transition into a different body or different, going into light and then.
Okay, thank you. And Melanie?
I too see transition and into that next level of whatever they're going to, adventure.
Okay, and then finally, Winston, what does death mean to you?
End of the body,
End
freedom
of
of
the
the spirit.
Freedom of the spirit. So death for me means different things at different times. When I was a little girl growing up, death for me was the finality, end of everything that existed. I remember when I used to be afraid of death growing up because I would look at my mom, with whom I adored so much, and I would think, what would I do if my mother died? I remember when my mom turned 30, approximately. My sister and I baked a cake for her. We didn't have any decorations for the cake, so I carved out happy birthday. I was 11 years old at the time, and placed it on the cake for my mom. And as I was doing this, I looked at my sister. Mind you, my mother was under 40. And I started crying. I said, Mom's getting old. She's gonna die soon. And then my sister started crying right along with me. We were a hot mess. And that's how I perceived death as I was growing up. As I got older and I started searching for the meaning of life and a philosophy and where I belonged, I started understanding that death to me was a new beginning, it was a transition, it was out with the old and in with the new, sort of like when we sleep. When we go to bed at night, our body is rejuvenated, hopefully, by the time that we wake up in the morning. And I am told, and I have seen, the condition with which we go to sleep. For example, if you get into an argument with someone and you go to bed angry, well, you wake up angry, don't you? Those emotions are conjured up again. And that is the same condition that we, because I believe in reincarnation, that we come back to this world. The same state that we died in. So what that says for me is that I want to live the best life ever. And I want to get the most out of life because I don't want to die a miserable person. Again, as an adult, when I experience death, it's my perception based on what's occurring at the time. In my career that I just left recently, I dealt with sick and dying, and I dealt with the family members of those sick and who had died. And up until I lost someone in my life, all I can say is I can't only imagine how you feel. Because I can only imagine how they felt. Because at that point, I had not lost anyone who was really close to me until 2012 when I lost my baby sister. That for me was very tragic, and it was the end of life. Even though I knew that one day she'd come back, it still was the end of that life. So I could not pick up the phone any longer and call and say, hey, how's your day? How's it going? We could no longer look at each other and laugh when my mother said something silly. And I could not go back and relive the things that we had done. But what I was happy about was that we had said the things that we needed to say before she passed away. I didn't have regrets, wondering what if I would have done this and what if I would have said that. In fact, after my sister passed away, her daughter went into her purse and commenced handing each of us, my brother and my other sister and the rest of the family, letters and thank you cards that my sister had written but didn't mail. And it said it all. So that was my closure. Death, again, conjures up many things. When I see the seasons changing, I know that they're dying to come back. And one day, everything will bloom again. When people that I love, like my brother I lost on January 2nd of this year, I was saddened. And at the same time, I was at peace because I knew and I know that he's in a better place. So for me, I'm looking forward to seeing him in another life. He may not be my brother, he may be my father, but we've made the cause to be born in the same family. So I will see him again. So when you learn of someone who dies and you just don't know what to say to the person who just lost someone that they love, just say, I can't imagine. Just say, I can't imagine what you're going through at this point, because everybody deals with death differently. And the worst thing to ask is, how was he sick? And whether or not he suffered for a long time, because it doesn't matter. They're no longer here. So when you think of death, I hope that I've convinced you not only to think of it in ways that, yes, it may be the final, but they'll come back at some point, and they're in a better place. And also, it means rebirth, revitalizing, and I'm sleeping for a while. Thank you very much.